I believe, being a gentleman that protects rhinos, I believe, and also African penguins, I believe that people should know the truth about what's happening in our world. I do not believe in this climate change carry on, and I believe that a lot of people make lots of money about it, and I find it abhorrent that we have all these windmills in our country flying around, and there is no rhyme nor reason for these things to be in place. And I believe that the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland should be free from the constraints of the European Union. And I believe only then can we tackle from our own island, a wee island. It might be a wee island. And may I say this? No. May I say this? That the idea, although it's possibly not in context. Wait a minute. The fact of the matter is, this country does not need to bomb Syria.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir. Okay, on that last point, I wholeheartedly agree. It's quite useful that you've come to this meeting because you've embodied quite neatly the story, the lie that has been told to lots of people. And that lie has been very effective because there is a huge amount of money being made off dealing with climate change, which is not dealing with climate change at all. And the very propagandists who are pushing, making sure the fossil fuel industry still has their power, are the same propagandists who are using the corruption around carbon markets, around offsets, all that kind of thing, to persuade people like you that climate change isn't happening. These are two very different phenomena. There's climate change that's actually happening, that is frying the world, droughts, floods, crop-destroying rains, collapsing Arctic, etc. There's the equivalent of 4 Hiroshima bombs added to the heat of the planet every single second. 4 Hiroshima bombs every second. 4 watts per metre on this planet has been added for every single metre by the extra heat we put out. Okay, sorry, but very important to distinguish between the corruption used as an excuse for not dealing with climate change.
Any other questions for?
Any other questions for Louise about pensions and so on?
One of the problems with pension funds in this country is they're totally inefficient and incompetent, have the worst rate of return anywhere you'll find in the civilised world or uncivilised world. 1, 2, 3, 4. The returns by pension funds are very, very low in this country because they're allowed to churn the shares. Actually stopping them investing in Shell will make no difference to the returns of most people, for the simple reason they will carry on selling them so that their mates in the stock exchange and everybody else along the way is making a profit. The only way that pensions work effectively, and let's remember that most people can't even afford a pension now, and the new government setup has got such a low take-up that pension funds will soon cease to actually have the power that they've had before. And the only way to make pensions work is to have them run by a proper government, which doesn't include the lot of idiots we've got at present. Thank you.
Hi. Just on that, there's a lot I'd agree in about inefficiencies and so on, and churn. Also, this just means that they buy and sell shares throughout the course of a day. A portfolio turns over, and they pay trading fees on that. So the only people that actually benefit from that are the traders. From one end of the year to the other, the portfolio looks rather similar, but they've just paid a whole load of dealing fees to people around here, and who do really well. Actually, auto enrollment has had a really good take-up. It's had a very small withdrawal rate, only about 3 to 4%, and people on average in a workplace are pulling out. which does mean more and more people, an additional 6 to 9 million people are going to come into the pension space over the next few years. And the key thing is they get away with being inefficient. They get away with a lack of transparency because the people whose money is actually poured into them don't recognise the power that they have within them. So I agree with some of what you said, but I think it's time we took power and control over them, and we can reform them to do what we want them to do.